We're if you just want to come a bit closer, we're heading out this morning. We've got to grout a patio in our locality in Risca for a lovely couple. We've got to get that done. We're going to be using the Easy Grate. But one of the things I wanted to sort of talk about and touch upon is that the amount of work that is out there at the moment, and that's great, and that's great for everyone. But my concerns are in this industry that we're in, there are some bad contractors anyway, and you'll always have that element. But I think there's been a massive influx of new contractors because they've been furloughed and they see an opportunity. And there's nothing wrong with that. Everybody's entitled to an opportunity and to exploit that opportunity, but not at the detriment of a potential client or a client. I see so much on these community groups on Facebook and all these other community groups that are out there, and people are recommending people without any just cause to recommend them. If you're looking for a contractor, there's a few things that you should put in place, and one of the things that we used to do years ago, we used to take a little cutting, and it was a cutting from one of the tabloids years ago. It was in the Daily Mirror, and it said in this one article on the gardening part, I can't remember who wrote it. It was a well-known, I don't know if it was Jeff Almerson, I can't remember, even if he did write for the news, for the Daily Mirror. But there was 10 tips about choosing a contractor, and some of those tips was like making sure that that the contractor you're using is a member of a professional body, and that professional body in this respect could be something like BARLI, the British Association of Landscape Industries, the APL, the Association of Professional Landscapers, whether you're a Marshall's approved contractor. Stay with me a sec, stay with me. Shut, I don't want my dogs to yeah, Marshall's approved installers, which works. It's a good system. You've got Brett Paving as well, but also what is out there is I'm not too convinced of all these things like Checker Trade and my work or something. I don't know, there's a couple of others out there, can't remember all of them, but things like that Checker Trade, I'm not quite sure that it's got the structure and it puts things in place where you, as a potential client, they're going to look at that and say, yeah, that ticks all the boxes, because there's this thing that's out there at the moment. There's so much fraud going on out there, and also the references that you see on the internet, whether it's on Google or whether it's on Facebook or whether it's on one of those My Builder, that's the other one, My Builder, and there's all these references. As a potential client, right, as a consumer, you've got to be able to phone those people that have recommended those people, be able to phone them up and say, can I pop round and have a look at the job? So if there is a reference on Google, you should be able to have a look at that, and you can respond on Google, send a message and say, look, you've recommended, in this case, Green Top Landscapes, can I pop round and have a look? What we always do as a company is that we always give our clients, even though they've accepted the quote, we encourage them to come and have a look at the work that we've done. And in some cases, it's difficult now with COVID, is to actually speak to the client that we currently work for, and they can sort of gauge then, they can see what we've been like, and if there's some confidence, if there's been any issues. There is nothing wrong with having issues as well. Having a problem is a good thing. It's how you deal with those problems, and there's a lot of guys that don't deal with problems. We've got a little bit of a snagging list on our previous job, and the client is going to they've told us now what needs to be done to get things finished. But that's great, because sometimes when you finish the job as a contractor, for you consumers to understand, as a contractor, you want to get it done, you want to get it finished, you want to make use of the good weather, but sometimes when you're in those inclement weather conditions, it can go against you. It's difficult to get things finished, so you need to clarify. This is for a contractor and for a consumer. The pair of you need to clarify what needs to be finished so that contractor can get their final payment. So making sure that they're a professional body, making sure that you've got good references and you can back up with those references, okay, which is the way forward, without a shadow of a doubt. And there's a few other things, is that ensuring that your contractor has the right skills, whether they're qualified to carry out that rendering work or that brickwork or that carpentry work. And you can do that by having a look at some of their work. Making sure that they've got some public liability insurance. Public liability insurance is massive, okay? If your contractor makes a mistake and it could cost, if it's going to cost money, you want them to have insurance. You want insurance to pay for it. You want insurance to pay for it. Also, make sure that when you're getting a quote, okay, when you're getting a quote, make sure, I would go for a fully itemised written quote. If there's something that's a bit ambiguous, the contractor should leave it out. The consumer should recognise that that's not included in the quote. So you've got to make sure that nothing's ambiguous at all. Fully itemised written quote. Quantity of pavings, okay, quantity of walling, linear meterage, square meterage, number of plants, a plant list, making sure that you're using the right timber and it's the right grade. Make sure your porcelain, if you're using porcelain, that you include that it's got an R11. You shouldn't be laying porcelain outside if it's not got an R11 rating. So all the specification is the attention to detail, crossing the T's, dotting the I's. It's so important. I've listed 5 then, so think about it. Make sure you don't make that mistake. If somebody can start tomorrow, especially in this climate, again, don't bother with them, because well, I wouldn't necessarily go with somebody who could start tomorrow. It suggests to me there's something wrong, or they're not doing it on a regular basis. I'm going to go over these tips again in another video, and I'm going to be writing it down on the whiteboard so you'll be able to see. But I'll be making all these key points in the description in this video. If you've liked this video, give it a like. If you've enjoyed it. If you haven't liked it, that's absolutely fine. Don't say anything nasty or horrible, because you'll just be blocked. That's the negative side of YouTube. And don't forget, thanks very much for watching, and don't forget to hit the subscribe button. Have a great day. It's beautiful today, and I'll see you later.